The following is a Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show YouTube exclusive.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Nostalgia comes alive. I'm your host, Jake Deffinbaugh. Bringing to you as always, our co-host Chris Bixby and Matt Bingel. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Welcome to our third YouTube exclusive.
Yes.
This is staying here. Welcome everybody. Glad you're with us.
Yes.
How you doing, Jake?
I am doing great as always.
Yes, and as
Every
you can
episode.
Yes, and as you can see, we don't have any guests here because this is where we answer your Q&A questions.
Yes.
Yes.
Very excited.
Yes.
Very excited. We received a lot of really good questions. I'll be the one asking the questions because I've got them all here. Since this is a YouTube exclusive, we'll start out on YouTube. First question comes from the Kruger twins. Are you and your friends going to have a party for your second anniversary celebration? If we go out to a bar, maybe, but Jakey can't because he's underage.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe. I mean,
I don't know.
We don't have anything planned as of taping this, but who knows? Maybe.
But we do have some stuff coming for this entire month though. So
yes,
that's something.
Yeah,
that's something.
Yeah,
so Nostalgic Madeline asks, how many people have you talked about with Elmo's World? I'd say at least 3. Ryan Dillon, Kathy Turo, and Nancy Sands. Am I missing anybody?
Annie Evans.
Annie Evans, yes,
Kathy,
that's right.
Kathy Turo.
Yeah, Kathy Turo.
So Kathy Turo.
Mostly with the writers because Kathy Turo and Annie Evans co-created it along with other people. And then Ryan Dillon, of course, worked on the newer version of Elmo's World. So yes,
Elmo, obviously,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So 4 at least.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
4.
Yeah, 4.
Whatever.
Whatever. Next one comes from our good friend and past guest, Marcelo Bataro.
Marcelo!
His first question is a really interesting one. Marcelo asks first, if you guys had any of the Muppet characters on the show, from the Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock, or Sesame Street, who would it be? Fantastic question.
Gosh.
If you've watched the show in the past, we've had some of the people do their voices, like Ryan Dillon was mentioned, Elmo, Carmen Osborne, Rosita.
Yep.
Leslie Rosita for me would be that'd be amazing.
Yep. Leslie
with Abby Cadabby
and Tango.
Yes. Cannot forget about Tango.
And Pam Marciera for Leona.
And Grangetta.
Grangetta, yep. In terms of Sesame Street, I'd have to go with Rosita.
Rosita, Elmo.
Zoe would be cool.
Zoe, Abby.
I'd say in terms of guests that we've already interviewed, I'd probably say Telly.
Yes, Telly.
Telly,
yes, Telly.
And in terms of guests that we have not interviewed, I would say Grover.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. In terms of Fraggle Rock,
for me, like
in terms of Fraggle Rock,
probably,
if it were
probably Grover or Cookie Monster.
Yeah, Cookie Monster would be fun. In terms of Fraggle Rock, I'd have to go. In terms of Fraggle Rock, I'd have to go with Gobo. Honestly, like I love Gobo. Gobo's my favorite. With Uncle Traveling Matt being
for me, like I'm probably gonna go with Gobo and Red. Even though
Red would be amazing.
My favorite Fraggle has kind of always been Wembley, so I guess I'll say Wembley.
Oh yeah, Wembley.
All right. Okay.
Wembley.
And
maybe it was why I didn't say like Fraggles because I don't want to be
because that's biased.
Yeah. Right.
In terms of the Muppet Show, I want to stick to like just Muppet Show characters, not like any of I guess we could say like the ones that were introduced during the Muppet Show era.
For me,
Scooter for me.
Gonzo.
I was going to say Gonzo.
Gonzo, yeah. Yes.
Obviously.
Gonzo or Animal, those are like
obviously Kermit. Yeah. Animal. Jeez. Oh yeah, Walter.
Well, that wasn't during the Muppet Show.
That was during the Muppet Show era.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the beginning. Yeah. Oh yeah. Beaker.
Okay, Beaker. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. We'd have to have a translator for that, but sure.
and Miss Piggy.
One of my favorites as a kid was Rolf.
Oh yeah, Wolf.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites as a kid.
Ralph, yes, Ralph would be amazing too.
Because I loved, as a kid, I always loved, dog characters, whether it's Wags from the Wiggles,
Tango
from Blue's Clues,
or
and of course Rolf. So that's why Rolf was one of my favorite Muppet Show Muppets when I was little.
Fair enough.
And
but Gonzo's always Gonzo and Animal have kind of always been my favorite Muppet Show Muppet.
And Wishbone from Wishbone too.
Yeah.
Lots of other
doggies.
Yes.
Doggies.
Marcelo's second question. He also asked if there are any other voice actors you guys would get on your show that you haven't gotten yet. Who would they be?
Oh my gosh.
Great question.
For me, probably Grey Delisle.
Grey Delisle's a great one. Yes.
Grey Delisle.
Yes.
That's funny.
That Grey Delisle and Jess Harnell. Jess Harnell just seems the most down to earth person from what I have heard.
You know who else I would really love, and I'll let Jakey go after this, but Rob Paulson.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Rob Paulson would be a great one.
Tara Strong.
Oh yeah, of course.
Tara Strong.
E.G. Daily.
I was just about to say E.G. Daily.
Nancy Cartwright.
Oh, Nancy Cartwright would be incredible. Oh my god, yes.
Or any of the SpongeBob folks like Tom Kenny,
Tom Kenny,
Bill Fagerbakke, Roger Bumpus, Clancy Brown, any of those people.
Yes. That'd be really cool too.
Mr. Lawrence, Jill Talley, Carolyn Lawrence.
Lawrence, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jim Cummings.
Oh yeah.
Jim Cummings. Yes.
Yeah. What else?
Those are nice ones. Yeah, they'd all be wonderful to have on in the future.
They would all be really, really cool. We've had some cool ones in the past
or
too.
even some of the voice actors who part of Arthur, like Michael Yarmish.
Oh yeah, more Arthur folks. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Yarmish.
Michael Yarmish. Yep. Fantastic questions, Marcel. Next two come from Blue's Clues, The Wiggles, FTW. First question from out of all the guest stars, which one's your favorite? Now that's like picking your favorite child. Okay, let's get that straight.
First of all, we honestly love all of our guests that we have on. Honestly.
We can't choose just one. We can list a few. For me, Carmen Osbar, Leslie Carrera Rudolph, Jennifer Barnhart. Oh god, there's more. Ryan Dillon was really cool. Stephanie DeBruzzo. Those are 5 for me. I know they're all puppeteers, but I mean, it's Sesame Street, for God's sake. Like,
yeah.
5 for me would probably be Leslie, Jen, Dan and Claudia Zanes.
Yes, I love Dan.
Oh yeah.
Murray, obviously.
Yes, Murray Cook.
Well, I mean, some of the recent ones we've done are really cool.
Yeah. Bruce Lanois, who just came back.
Yeah.
Hope you folks enjoyed that.
That was fun.
That was fun. Laurie Berkner was cool too.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Laurie Berkner was amazing.
And I guess probably Chris Surf and Norman Styles.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would kind of be my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, for me, top 5.
These are no particular order, by the way. I just want to say that. What are your
like I guess if we're gonna do like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, be
that's
hard.
Impossible. That's impossible.
So we rather folks, we're just going to pick just 5, not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But anyway,
you're 5, Jake.
Yes. Definitely no. Oh my gosh, Leslie, Jennifer Barnhart, Murray, of course. Philip Wilcher.
Philip Wilcher, yes.
Oh my gosh. It's Pam Marciero.
Oh yeah, I love Pam.
It's just, oh my gosh. It's yeah. I know I said 5, but screw it. I'll just say another 5.
Just say another one. Yeah.
Carmen from Lost Bar.
Love Carmen.
Kathleen Kim.
Yes. I love Kathleen Kim.
And of course, Bruce.
Bruce, yeah.
Bruce Noyle, because I know we have a couple of Bruce in our show, so Bruce Noyle specifically.
Bruce Noyle, yes.
Dan Garza.
Oh, I love Dan Garza. He was phenomenal.
Good one.
Oh yeah, of course, and definitely Debbie Derryberry.
Oh, yes. Good choices. It's very hard to pick. But a lot of them are just amazing.
Yeah, it's even it's hard to pick 10. Even
I know it's hard to pick 10. I just have another one. I just have another one I completely forgot about. Cheryl Blaylock.
Cheryl Blaylock. Oh my gosh.
She was wonderful.
Like we can go on about our previous guests because
we really could. We could write a whole book if we wanted
about like every guest or something.
not necessarily a biography because
like kind of like a little like me like about every guest. Well, I mean almost every guest, but like because of every guest, I'll be.
Plus some have been brought back anyway, like Kyle Nelson, Calvin Lester, who's another amazing guest.
Yeah, Bruce, and that's only 3 times. And I know that's gonna keep on going. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I already know we're gonna have some more returning guests on. So that'll be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do those again.
Absolutely. Second one from Blue's Clues, so Wiggle FTW. This one also came from Unicorn Fairy and Boxman 4532. So we decided to put them into one. What inspired you to start this podcast?
That's
of course, Jake.
That's Jake. Take it, Jake.
That's my question.
Just
okay.
You just
all right. Okay. All right. How I, when me and the guy got inspired to do this, like for like 2 years ago now. It's so weird, but it's like when you're doing something that you're like, how's this going that long? But anywho, let me shut up and just talk about it. But I remember it was like during like early July of 2021 when I started doing it. And then I was just if you tell me, I'm not too sure I even tell us that this question, but if you tell us like podcasts that kind of inspired to make our own podcast. I remember I used to watch like, I mean, I know I've been like listening a lot of podcasts before, like doing this, but for example, Purple Roads, of course, the DJ Bob Show. We love you, Bob.
Yes.
Hi, Bob.
Grandpa Choco's podcast. Under the Puppet.
Under the Puppet, yes.
And of course, Puppeteers.
Puppeteers.
Previously got
great
one. Cameron Garrity. Yeah,
Beretta Brothers.
Beretta Brothers. Yeah. I just, long story short, I just want to make, nostalgia podcast, and then I just I was thinking like one day I was like, why should have a name? And then I just put Jake's, of course, and that's my podcast, and then show Jake's Happy, and the reason why I put Happy is because we love talking about these type of things and nostalgia and this we grew up with, right? And I put nostalgia show, and I think it's a good name, Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, right? And then we started this podcast, Chris, come along, and then later on Matt came, and then
actually,
yeah, in episode 22.
Yep. Jason Marsden.
Matt
Matt originally came on as just like a guest
co-host, but then we just love having
one of our
part of a team.
One of our former co-hosts could not make it, so Matt kind of filled in. And after that, we really enjoyed having Matt on because he brought a lot of energy and joy to the interview. So we decided to, ask him if he wanted to be an official co-host, and the rest is history.
Next 3 are from DT Channel Studio 93. First one, what is it like to celebrate 2 years of the podcast?
Well, it's
mind-blowing.
It's just insane.
Shocking,
Shocking, absolutely.
The day that we're taping this, it was actually yesterday. That's second anniversary, and my mind is just like, how is it 2 years already? Like, how is it?
That's exactly what I was thinking too, man.
How in the world we're doing something you love to do, and then it gets 2 years? It's just so weird, but it did happen. 2 years.
It's weird.
So it's weird, but it's insane.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It feels weird that it's been 2 years, especially for me, because I haven't been around all 2 years yet.
And now you're doing over 100 episodes now.
100th episode with Leslie. I couldn't have asked for a better guest for my 100th. I don't even reach 2 years until January of 2024. Yikes! I still got a few months to go. That's gonna feel weird. But it's like Jake said, it's both shocking and amazing that it's been 2 years. Like, it really is. Next, DT Channel Studio 93 also asked, and a little bit from Unicorn Fairy as well, what is your favorite Muppet movie or Muppet show? Movie is The Great Muppet Caper for me. Great Muppet Caper is a classic. I love the Great Muppet Caper. Muppet movie from 1979 is a very close second. But in terms of Muppet show, that's difficult.
Yeah, for me,
that's really difficult.
My favorite Muppet movie is definitely the original Muppet movie and the 2011.
2011 was really good.
Yeah.
Say for me, my favorite movie would be like Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah,
I love the Muppet Christmas
Carol.
Okay. My favorite adaptation of Christmas Carol.
So DT Chan, if some of you ask us as well about your favorite like holiday films, definitely Muppet Christmas Carol.
And my favorite show would probably be Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yes, definitely Bear.
Oh yes.
We all grew up watching Bear. It's I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's no other show is like Bear.
Yeah,
that's what makes it stand out.
Oh yeah, Bear in the Big Blue House.
Between the Lions. My 3 would probably be Bear in the Big Blue House, Between the Lions, and like 90s and 2000s Sesame Street, because that was like my generation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Good era. Love old Sesame Street.
So many.
Yeah.
Great series.
Third one from DT Channel Studio. I'm gonna kind of reword this a little bit. asks, which puppeteer do you enjoy the most in shows or movies? If we're talking like performance wise, Kevin Clash, easily, without a doubt.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Kevin Clash.
I mean, his
Steve Whitmire, of course.
Steve Whitmire,
Jim Henson,
Jerry Nelson,
Peter Linz,
Stephanie Brusso,
Stephanie.
So many great ones. Jennifer Barnhart, of course.
Jen Barnhart, yep.
we're gonna say like previous guys about.
Yeah, we're just going back to previous
guys
again.
Yeah, it's just we absolutely like love the guests that we had, and for like, keep in mind, folks, like after we've done our episodes with them, we just been most of our guests we have on, we just keep in touch. That's how
yeah, we keep in touch.
Yeah,
yes, we do.
It's more than that than just
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, we're gonna be on a show, okay, and then we never talk again. No, we've kept in touch with quite a few of them since.
Absolutely,
and it is,
and some of them are like great friends of ours.
Yes,
it just becomes a circle of life. We just it's just
please do not sue us, Disney. Thank you very much. Anywho, next two come from Unicorn Fairy. Which celebrities would you like to be on your podcast? Are we talking like A-list? Because that's a good question. I don't know what celebrities. Wow. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh my gosh. It's so.
If we're talking, I'm trying to. The thing is, I'm trying to be realistic about this too. That's the thing. That's what's difficult for me, because we at least want to be realistic about this. I don't have an answer for that, honestly.
I honestly don't know. I just didn't have anything in my mind right now.
I guess I mean, if the question's in terms of like dream guess, like whether it would be a possibility or not, an A-list celebrity for me would be Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah,
an A-list celebrity would be Tom Hanks. Yes. Next two are from Boxman 4532. We brought up earlier. First question from Boxman: what is your favorite video game?
Ooh.
I'm not really much of a video gamer these days. I do have a good Mario Kart though. Mario Kart.
I remember I used to play like the Super Mario 3D Land, Mario.
Surprisingly, I've never played that. Wii Sports though. Wii Sports.
Oh yeah, Wii Sports. Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort was my favorite. If we're going like classic, probably Super Mario World.
Oh yeah, Super Mario Galaxy.
World. Classic.
Previously interviewed Kenny James.
Yes.
I actually can't get that out because his episode's not even out yet. Oops, sorry about that. I gotta take it.
Way to go.
But it's it's
Yeah, I'm not really much of a video gamer, like I said, but like again, I do love.
I used to play Halo 5, but then
Halo's
I never played Halo. A friend, my next door neighbor and I, we used to play Call of Duty all the time. Back when, the family's still neighbors. So my best friend, he's in the military now. So we don't really see each other much anymore, but we used to play Call of Duty a lot, one-on-one, and it was a lot of fun. I forgot which ones exactly though, but
I haven't really had the chance to play it very much, but Grand Theft Auto I was always fascinated by.
Oh my gosh.
That's always fascinated too. That's always fascinated me as well, but I never played it myself.
Happy Wheels.
Oh my god, Happy Wheels.
That's not a video game though.
Technically not. It's a game, not a video game.
Yeah, but yeah.
But it does take me back.
That just popped my mind.
Happy Wheels was a fun one. Yeah, I remember playing that a lot as a kid. I still do occasionally. I mean, Happy Wheels isn't like a hugely popular game like it was.
Wipe Out the game. Wii too. Yeah, I remember that too.
Game. Yeah,
what?
I remember that. Yeah.
Wipe Out the game and Wii.
Oh yes, I have the first and third one still.
I have Wipeout for the DS. I've played that quite a few times.
Wow.
But good question.
Yeah, it's very, very good question. Yeah, I still have a lot of my Wii games actually. Wish I could say the same for my Wii U, which I still probably will sell. To be honest, I don't even use it anymore.
I might do the same too, because some relative of mine got me well, actually I shouldn't say relative, but my mom, because I was trying to remember who it was. My mom got me some Wii U games just because they were like at a second-hand shop. But I don't have a Wii U, and I don't really plan on getting a Wii U.
Yeah,
so
yeah, kind of be glad you don't.
I'm more of like a retro video game kind of guy, so I don't think I'll buy a Wii U.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
me too. I'm more retro as well.
Like any of the early Nintendo's early
DS.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny. PlayStation. I used to have a
Xbox.
PlayStation.
Oh my
gosh. I used to have a PlayStation 1. Like, we're going way back. I used to have a PlayStation 1. I still have my PS2. I've had that like 12 years now.
My PS2, yeah.
I still have mine's a slim model, but works
Xbox One, Xbox 360. Oh my gosh.
What about the Xbox Connect, Jakey? Have you ever had that?
I've never had any of the Xboxes, so I can't really judge on that.
I can't judge on that either. Next one from Boxman4532. What is your favorite cartoon?
Ooh.
Trying to think retro here. I love the original Muppet Babies. That's probably my favorite.
Cartoons. Tom and Jerry.
The classics, Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes.
Bugs Bunny.
I know they're not. Well, they're kind of cartoons, but I remember watching the old Mickey Mouse cartoons from like the 1930s.
Oh yeah,
those have fascinated me. I don't know why, but they do. They fascinate me.
The three for me would probably, and they're all Nickelodeon. Classic SpongeBob, obviously.
Oh yeah,
yes, classic SpongeBob.
Classic SpongeBob, yeah.
Which for me would go to like from like season 1 up to like maybe season 5. Jimmy Neutron and Rugrats.
Rugrats.
Oh yes,
of course, Rugrats. Yes. Rugrats is a classic. I will admit that the revival's all right, but
I haven't seen much of the revival.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's okay. But I absolutely love the original. Nothing can beat the original.
Absolutely.
Great
show Chase.
Yes.
Fantastic question. Yes. Fantastic questions there, Boxman.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next one's an interesting question from Andrew Schroy. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Have you ever thought of interviewing performers who are either lesser known or up and coming? We've done that a couple times on the show.
Yeah.
We've had mostly friends within our puppetry community. Marcelo Bataro,
Alex Uigo.
Margo was a guest co-host with us with Luis Gold.
Yes. But keep on the lookout because we do have some up and coming puppeteer interviews coming.
Yes, we do. So
and some more with new puppeteers as well.
Yes. So to answer your question, yes, we have, and we got some more coming. Good question though. Next 4 come from Zach Newland.
Okay.
First, what is your favorite episode you guys have filmed? in terms of production value, oh god, In terms of like production value, that's tough because there have been so many great episodes with incredible guests. This is just the episodes, not like
right.
Just the episodes themselves. David and Matthew Feldman's turned out really great because we introduced some of the new stuff that we've had on since production wise.
Oh yeah, and the Burkall anniversary.
See, Brandon, there's your reference, and it wasn't from me. Thanks. Anywho,
I'm just gonna keep on saying when it's not your idea, it's my idea.
Jennifer Barnhart would be one for me because that's when we introduced the station IDs.
Yes, that is. That's actually that's something. That's
so
something
interesting. That's like the first episode featuring those,
and that's cool. That's something we've had in the back of our mind since like December, I think, like the beginning of the year.
Yeah, then we started doing it, and then
and then Cleo's was our first one.
Like what? It can't get any better than
really
that.
Cool. And we've got some great ones with that. Yes. Second question from Zach Newland. He asks, do you guys have any favorite behind the scenes moments? Behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh.
This was cut out. I don't remember what episode, but as soon as it was a recent episode too. As soon as Chris said, and what do we say, Jake? He turned his camera off.
Yeah.
Well, that happened twice. Yeah, that
happened twice. Because the reason why is because my parents would literally come downstairs and talk to me for something for literally like exact timing. So I had to like.
Right.
I know. Yeah.
I don't want.
but just leave me alone for like 30 more seconds.
Honestly, I kind of forgot. What was the two episodes that happened?
Behind the scenes moment. I'm trying to think.
Ooh. I feel I don't know. There's a lot of it.
You know, it's really interesting. Whenever we watch something Sesame related, something big happens with us.
Like that happened for like
that's happened so many times. I can't even tell you how many times it's happened. Like I think it was early season 53. We were watching an episode. We got a big guest. I don't remember who, but every Thursday. The three of us and some friends, we watched the new Sesame episode that came out that day, and
and I remember the day that we got Carmen. Chris, I remember.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking the day we got Carmen Osmond.
We got a big guest. I was like,
we got a big guest.
And then I think you want us to calling to hear the moment. So like. I think is it Carmen Hospital? And they're like, yes,
yes. I was like, oh my god, like I still can't believe that.
Yeah, I actually did.
You go ahead. You go ahead. I'm so.
I remember there was like one couple times where sometimes where I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to say this. It's like take two. We're happy with Andy Hayward. Because one time where it's like, oh shoot, Mario was there. Dang it. Okay, take two.
That's right. I was thinking of that, but I forgot which episode it was. So thank you.
And you guys were like,
yeah.
I know I was. Hi, Marty.
Hi.
Hey, Marty. I heard my name.
I guess it counts as a behind the scenes moment, even though it was still kept in the episode. It's happened a couple times. Whenever we interview someone and they show us their pets. Like for example,
when
Leslie brought out Newhart and when Dan and Claudia Zanes brought out their puppy. If you guys remember that.
So cute.
So cute. Dogs.
Yes. Yes, very.
I feel like there's more.
Well, I mean, it's not something that happens very much. So I mean, it hasn't happened too much, but however, I love puppies, so
yeah,
any kind of pets really.
Yeah, mostly puppies.
Yeah,
mostly puppies. I'll put you over here.
Good questions.
Right, cool. Great question. Third one from Zach Newland. What guests do you hope to get in the future?
Okay.
One I would love to have on the show at some point is Peter Linz. I will say that now. Peter Linz.
Peter's a good Peter's a good friend of mine because as I've mentioned before, back to the DJ Bob show in 2017, Bear celebrated its 20th anniversary. So we had him on as well as Noel, Tyler, and Vicky.
Yes, Vicky Eidner.
So we had the four of them on, and we did. I don't know if you can find the other ones, but we did do some other ones prior to that to celebrate the 20th anniversary. We had Peter Lurie.
I can't remember.
We had Peter Lurie.
Peter Lurie's previous guest about it.
And
Brian Woodbury?
No, Brian Woodbury. No, that I didn't meet him until this podcast.
Okay.
But we were going to. It's just scheduling.
But scheduling, yeah.
And then I don't know if it's if you can find it anywhere anymore, but Mitchell Kriegman.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, creator. So
yes,
yeah.
For me, definitely Noel, Neil, Peter Linz, Bob West.
Oh yeah, Bob West.
Bob West, yeah.
Josh Dela Cruz.
Yes. Oh my God. I would love if we got Josh.
Tom really Kenny.
Cool.
This would be this is an interesting one, but I did grow up reading these books. I would personally like Jeff Kinney, who created Diary of Wimpy Kid.
Diary of Wimpy Kid. That'd be cool.
Diary of Wimpy Kid, huge part of my childhood.
And he also, of mine too.
He also created.
Yeah, I think I still have some of the books.
I still have some of them,
especially that I remember seeing the books from the Scholastic Book Fair.
Scholastic Book Fair. That's a throwback in and of itself.
And he also created a certain online game. If any one of our viewers remember the game Pop Tropica.
Yes.
He created that game as well.
I didn't know that was him. That's cool. I do remember that, but I had no idea that was created by him. That's really cool.
Yes.
By the way, Peter Linz, congratulations on your wedding, by the way.
Yes, Peter Linz and Alice Deneen, congrats.
Deneen are now married.
Congrats to you both. We're so happy for you guys.
It feels
both watching this.
It feels weird that Tutter and Grandma Flutter are now married.
And Sizzle and Nuzzle, the Impossible Place.
Sizzle and Nuzzle.
Well, Sizzle and Nuzzle, that makes more sense because Sizzle and Nuzzle and Julie and Sky were always
Julie and Sky. How cute.
Paired together, and they're not family, so
yeah.
But no, honestly though, I couldn't be happier for Peter and Alice.
Right. Congratulations to them. Fourth and final question from Zach Newland. We talked about shows just a moment ago. What are your favorite kids shows you grew up with?
I could go on and on.
We could go on and on and on.
Well, again, the three that I mentioned as far as puppetry, Sesame Bear and Between the Lions, obviously.
Those are the three I grew up with puppetry as well.
SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, and Rugrats I mentioned. Grew up with them.
For me, like when I'm thinking of the PBS kids, Between the Lions, Mrs. Rogers' Neighborhood, Barney and Friends.
Mr. Rogers, Barney. I definitely grew up with Barney.
But honestly, like I was one of those kind of kids that like anything that was on like Playhouse Disney.
Me too.
Nick Jr.
Playhouse Disney, Nick Jr.
PBS
Kids Sprout
and PBS Kids Sprout.
Playhouse Disney, Nick Jr. Nickelodeon, like so many.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network too, but that wasn't until I was like a little older. Like when I got to be like 6 or 7, that was when I got into Cartoon Network.
I didn't get to Cartoon Network until I was like maybe 8 or 9.
The good thing is though, all those shows were still rerunning then, because I mean they had new shows that came out like Flapjack and Chowder. But
I love Flapjack.
They were still rerunning like Ed and Eddie Foster's Home for Imaginary
Friends.
Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, like all those
Mason Worth, Gumball.
I was way later. But Gumball was a good show too. And they're making new Gumball stuff. I think they're doing a new movie and a new series, so that's fun. Personally, now with Cartoon Network,
Sabumafu, Lucy Town, Clifford.
Yeah, Sabumafu.
Literally, we go on. So that's all. So yeah.
And even Wildcrats too. I mean, obviously, if it wasn't for being a fan of Zabumafu, I probably wouldn't be into Wildcrats because, I mean, certain animal shows like Animal Planet, I mean, most of the stuff from that it can be boring to a lot of people, but Zaboomafoo and Wildcrats really make animal shows very
Even someone
entertaining
that they don't think it's possible that and it's there.
Because with Zaboomafoo, you got Zabu getting a snack, you got Chris and Martin always falling in the mud.
Snap, yeah.
Chris and Martin always up to shenanigans and opening up the closet and stuff always falling on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much anything PBS, Nick Jr., Playhouse Disney, or Disney Channel too. Like That's So Raven was.
Yeah, That's So Raven. Yep.
Out of the Box. PB&J Otter.
Yes.
Yep.
PB&J Otter. Yeah.
JoJo Circus.
Oh, I love JoJo Circus. One of the first shows I discovered when I was a kid was The Little Bear. That has always been one of my favorite shows.
Yes.
A show I still watch now.
Yeah,
it has that calming, like kind of like
the music on that show is so calming.
For example, but Little Bear is like kind of that type of.
The music on that show is just so calming.
Really I was told by my mom, my grandma, and several relatives that the first 3 shows, and these are all Disney, the first 3 shows that I watched as a baby were Bear, PB&J Otter, and Roly Poly Oly.
Oh yeah, Roly Poly Oly.
Roly Poly Oly, yeah. That's a great one. That's all for YouTube, except for a separate section we decided to put from our pals at the Puppet Hideaway. This is going to be a long one.
Love you, Eric.
Love you, Eric. Previous guest.
A lot of his characters and Eric each have their own questions.
Funny enough.
Funny enough, which is great. This first one's from you, Jakey, and it's from Foxford.
Hey, Foxford.
We kind of answered this question already, but answer it again. What is the history of the show and how it became Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show?
I just like back in 2021, I kind of started watching the podcast and all that. Like, for example, I don't really need to say again because I already answered already. But of course, I want to make this long story short. And then I just want to make nostalgic related podcast. Yeah, exactly, do my own thing. And then Chris and Matt, and then just DJ Bob Wonko help us and
yes,
and then we just
And I'll add on to that because I forgot to mention this. The first person who asked that question was I mentioned the DJ Bob Show a few times. I already had kind of a bit of podcasting experience when I signed on to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show because I was a co-host on the DJ Bob Show for 2 years.
I've been doing the show for 2 years. Yeah.
Now we've done this show for 2 years.
Yeah, and since then I've occasionally helped Bob with other things like editing and graphic design, which I also do a lot of on this show along with Matt. So I've kind of had experiences in a lot of the podcast related fields. So, Bob definitely gave me the experience or the type of skills that I needed to get into podcasting. So again, thank you, Bob. And I don't know if Matt or Jake, you've ever thought of this that way, but we're also, prior to, starting this podcast, we've also kind of already had experience as content creators.
That's definitely for sure.
On Jake's YouTube channel, he used to do interviews with people from another community that we're in. In fact, I was one of the people he interviewed. So he's had experience with that. I mean, Matt, you obviously make videos with, Marty and Julius.
Yeah, I'm starting doing with Bean as well. And
I mean, as far as content creating, I mean, I do have a YouTube channel. I don't really upload too much anymore, but I
usually upload some kind of nostalgic type of videos kind of thing.
Yeah, I used to upload video collections and things like that, and I even tried to take a jab at gaming, but because of podcasting and the Roblox community, those are kind of the two things I enjoy the most doing online, and obviously I do enjoy gaming, but
yeah, but
actually,
you just don't have not much time to do that.
Not as much.
Well, it's also because I'm the type of person I just like to play games with my friends.
Next one from the Puppet Highway is from Schmuffin. Oh yeah, how it's from Schmuffin, one of our previous guests who was on Eric's episode. How has the show evolved over the past 2 years, and
oh my gosh!
And how do you anticipate it will grow in the future?
Well, I'll start by saying obviously station IDs, which we mentioned.
Station IDs, graphic-wise, production-wise, has changed a lot.
We've been able to include station IDs in every episode since they've been introduced, and
which was Jennifer Barnhart's episode, yeah.
And originally, I think our idea was to include station IDs for the guests that we would be interviewing, but because of timing, that turned out not like sometimes, like for example, with Bruce Lanoil when he came back on, we were able to get a station ID from him, but because of timing and everyone's schedules, we're not able to do that. So sometimes we'll use station IDs from other people, but people who work in the same field. So for example, Nancy Sands, she's a writer and composer, and the station ID we used for that one was Dennis Scott, who's also a writer and composer. So
kind of that,
different people, but similar fields.
Similar fields, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very good question. Or you go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, and for I was thinking like, oh yeah, and Carlos.
Carlos Alzaraki.
Yeah, we put in Boris, from Caillou,
and also
another example.
Since our rebrand, which I think started around September or October.
Yes.
October. Recording wise, it started airing wise started in like November.
Yeah, so late last year,
it technically started in October.
Late last year when we started the rebrand, we've been including pictures and interviews, which I think is
we have,
because I think it's important to do that, because I mean, like with Carlos Alzaraki, for example, I mean, if you're a 90s Nick fan, chances are you've seen Rocko's Modern Life, but not everyone's seen it. And some of the other shows he was on, like Cat Dog or Maya and Miguel, not everyone's seen those shows. So, maybe having pictures and interviews will, tempt people to, go. It's what I'm saying is it's important to have pictures and interviews because it, for people who haven't seen some of the projects that they've done, it's important so people know.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
I absolutely agree with that. Yes. And in terms of anticipating how the show will grow in the future, we have no idea.
People ask us when we're getting paid.
Yeah, people have asked us.
But I think I find most podcasters that do make money are podcasts that have a lot of followers, and we have a lot of followers.
Yes,
as it stands right now, but not enough to really make
not enough to start making money. Not yet.
Yeah,
but hopefully.
Yeah,
and certainly not as much as like vloggers who practically live off of YouTube revenue.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why whenever I record stuff, I stick it to home movie style. Honestly, it's much better. Actually, I think I told you folks before. I have an old Sony Hi8 movie camcorder from like 20 years ago. I think we got it when I was like maybe a year old, maybe not even that. It was interesting. We had entered like some I don't remember what it was. It was some photograph contest for some taco company. I forgot what it was. And we sent it in. We sent it in. We won $1,000. So my dad spent it on a camcorder. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and we've had it ever since. Like again, we've had it like I don't know, 22 years now. I think. Fantastic question. I'm gonna let you take this one, Jake. It's your question.
I realized that now there's a question from Grudger, but Grudger.
Mm-hmm.
Kruger, I asked that one already. How are the rules divided up?
I
mean, we kind of answered that.
Yeah.
We kind of touched up on it earlier. How are the roles divided amongst we can go back to this question real quick. Ruger asks, how are the roles divided amongst the three of you? Jake's the host. Chris and I switch off between editing episodes. You see me editing the Wednesday episodes. Chris edits the Saturday episodes. Just a good system we got going. Back to this question though, for Jake, what is the most challenging part of being the leader of all this?
Production. Oh my gosh. Well, it really depends sometimes even there are moments that like where we have like making like questions for for the interview, and sometimes that can be tricky. And sometimes with scheduling too.
For me, making questions is honestly probably the most challenging part for me, just because it's hard to kind of, because we've interviewed a lot of puppeteers, so it's kind of difficult to ask like different questions than what we've asked the other puppeteers we've interviewed. So
yeah,
making questions is challenging. Editing is definitely a challenge.
Oh yeah, editing is definitely a challenge.
Most of the time it's a fun challenge, though, because we get to look back at the amazing interviews we did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when I was the one who edited Leslie's, and oh my gosh, I smiled throughout the whole thing, even though it was taping wise, it was the longest interview we've ever done.
Yeah. But it was so worth it though.
Yes, because I think originally it was like 2 hours and 45 minutes, so almost 3 hours. But
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But with editing down, I was able to take out, a number of
stuff,
things that it didn't really need to be in there. But yeah, no, editing Leslie's interview, it was great.
Yeah, similar for me. I was the one that edited Carmen's interview, and I had a blast editing that one. Like I also just smiled all throughout. Also there were some things I also had to take out, but that one meant a lot to me. It was honestly one of my favorites I've edited for the show. It was absolutely wonderful. But yeah, that's kind of what we think about us. We technically answered this one earlier, but I'll ask it anyway. This one's for me. Could you tell us how I became a part of? Yes. Could you tell us how you became part of the team? Well, Chris kind of answered it earlier. I've been an admirer of the show since day one, and it's funny. I was actually going to be a guest on the show, which I was, but we added our good friend Miss Alex Arrigo like last minute.
Yes,
because like how well we play off of each other and whatnot. Because I do remember that I know you guys were going to have me on as a guest eventually. Kind of like a turn the tables kind of thing, and then
the one with Alex I think was originally scheduled when you weren't officially a part of the show yet, but when you did become an official part of the show, we just kind of decided, since Matt and Alex are good friends, we decided to just kind of give him the guest chair anyway.
Great question. I think you technically answered this one too, Chris. What is your favorite and least favorite parts of working on a podcast? I think we kind of touched up on it earlier. Editing is like a blast, but coming up with questions is pretty difficult.
Well, as far as most favorite parts of doing the podcast, I mean, it
is definitely chatting with these amazing people that some of them
just chatting with these people
they didn't thought about getting.
Scheduling's also really fun because it feels like you've accomplished something.
Oh yeah,
huge.
Absolutely. That's happened to me a few times.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, and if you guys go on our YouTube channel, you'll see our most popular interviews with Murray Cook. And
that's obvious because with Wiggle, big sound. The Wiggles
of course,
community
so iconic.
is just,
of course,
and I was the one who set that one up. Also with the help of the lead singer of the Soul Movers, Lizzie Mack. So shout out to Lizzie.
Yes.
Lizzie.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Yes, and
for that to happen.
So we were the one who kind of set that whole thing up, and when we ended up actually scheduling the interview, I was like, is this actually happening?
I remember like the day. I remember the day that we got Murray, and we were like, "What? We got Murray!"
Like, I know. Yeah, we were all just like, "What?"
I feel
and that's like us with a lot of guests.
And I already know that, like, if you somehow get the other, OG Wiggles, Greg, Anthony, or Jeff, I know we will be feeling the same like we had it with Murray,
And Murray, and also with Phillips' interview, those were the only times where we had people give us questions outside of us, because for Phillips' interview, some of my friends in the Roblox community sent me questions.
Yeah, I know that happened with Murray as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened with.
That's gonna happen with if you interview Greg, Anthony, or Jeff. So not surprised me.
Yeah, I too have booked a few. If you remember Ivy Austin's interview, I
love Ivy.
I got her. I think I also booked Marcelo Bataro. I booked him as well.
If you guys know, like some of the guests that I booked, of course, Bruce, Norrell.
Cheryl Blaylock, wasn't Cheryl Blaylock you met?
Cheryl Blaylock I booked as well.
Yes,
that was I was so happy I booked that one.
And Dan Garza.
Dan Garza was you.
And Burke Hall. 20th anniversary.
Much to contrary to popular belief, that was Jake.
Originally, it was going to be just with Chris Surf, and then in the future, I would have asked him to possibly help connect us with Norman Styles. But then DJ Bob suggested, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this earlier, because any Sesame Street fan who knows a lot about the songs and what went into them will know Chris Surf and Norman Styles contributed to hundreds of songs, both
lots of songs,
for Sesame Street and Between the Lions, which of course they also created together with some other folks. So Bob kind of suggested have Chris and Norman on together. I asked Chris about that, and he was very enthusiastic about it. Provided me with Norman's contact info. I messaged Norman, and
great question. Next one is for all three of us. Have all of your guests been familiar with Zoom and or podcasting, or have you had to coach some of them? I think most of them know about Zoom and that kind of thing. Some of them we've had to coach,
Some of them early on we used Skype for
like it's only for the couple, but the rest we're doing Zoom. But of course, very first episode, StreamYard.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And the problem with StreamYard is you can only have a certain amount of people in at a time.
Yeah. Not really the best.
The Skype interviews went fine. But pretty much Zoom, I'd say, is the best because the quality's better.
Yeah.
And it's easier to set stuff up because with Skype, what we had to do was either drop the person in by phone number or have the person give us their Skype user and add them to contacts. But with Zoom, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just send them the link, and there you go.
Yeah.
Like I do. Thank goodness.
But because Zoom had been a thing for a while, but during the pandemic, obviously, mostly for school purposes, people were using Zoom a lot. And it got to
now that's what we're using.
Yeah. In a way, I do prefer Zoom interviews over in person because
as do I.
With Zoom interviews, you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
But I will say, in the early days of Purple Roads or Purple Tales, which was the podcast before, they had
in person.
Most of them were in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool if somehow in some shape or form that we done doing like in person.
I mean, hey, the three of us are East Coast.
Hey, we're East Coast.
It's just in terms of getting the guest.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Yeah, that would be something. You know, we're willing to.
Why not us doing it?
Yes, fantastic question. Next one is from Edgar, so from the Puppet Hideaway. Do you ever have repeat guests? We mentioned this earlier. We've had three.
Yeah.
We've had three.
Just only three.
Kyle Nelson, who was BJ, the body performer for BJ.
For
1997
from the beginning for the Barney's Big Surprise tour.
Barney's Big Surprise tour.
And then through season 7 through 14.
Yeah.
1997 and then 2002, 2009. Calvin Lester is a previous guest of ours.
Yes, he came back with some of the other Bird Call folks.
Mm-hmm. And then recently, the one you folks saw on Saturday, the 8th of July, Bruce Lenoyle came back for our 2nd anniversary, which was wonderful. Yay! So yes, we've had 3 guests, but you never know, you might see more returning guests in the future.
Yes.
Just know we go.
That's
next so far.
And we've surprised new guests with previous guests, going back to the lovely Carmen Osbar. Surprise her with Tara.
Oh my god.
I was like,
it's
Tara. You want
Tara? Yeah, originally it was just gonna be like, oh, Tara says hi, and all that. But of course, as Tara described it best, Jakey's like, I could one up that. And he did. Like we had
like, I could do better than that.
I can do better than that.
Like we surprised a lot of people with Bob, because Bob had them on his show and got some of them for our show.
Yeah,
his show's been on for 13, almost exactly 13 years.
13 years.
I don't know how he does it, but
I don't know. Years. I don't know what he did. 13 years.
Good for Bob.
It's so insane.
Yeah,
it really is. But yeah, we've surprised. Yeah, most of the time
more years.
Bob.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's been with our good friend Bob Runkle. But yes, we did surprise Carmen with Tara, and it just made her entire year, as she said, which made us so.
You made my year.
My year. I'm gonna go to the ones from Eric himself. He has 3 of them, and this first one,
he has additional questions.
This first one is really is a very interesting question. Eric's first question is: as a fellow creator, I find my motivation comes and goes. I figured out how I can manage it and remain consistent with my content, but I'm curious to know if this happens to you guys and how you handle it. Have you ever doubted yourself or the venture? Does it help to have a group? To start off, yes, it definitely helps to have a group.
Yes, which is kind of the reason why because since I wasn't on the DJ Bob shows at Coast anymore, people have suggested I start my own podcast, but the reason why I didn't is because with things like this, with DJ Bob's show, we worked with a group of people, and with this podcast, we work with a group of people. So that's kind of what I prefer.
Yeah, it's interesting. I almost started I've had a couple of podcasts that I've done, none as long running as this. I almost started a nostalgic. I believe it or not, I don't think I've told anybody. I almost started a nostalgic podcast myself. I think, oh God, when did I almost start? Like 2019, but that,
oh my gosh,
that never got off the ground. Sadly, I think it was mostly because I just didn't really have the proper equipment, not as much as I do now. I tell you, like 4 years ago, my audio quality probably would have been absolutely horrible. I'll just say that now. But yeah, I almost did. Have we ever doubted ourselves?
Not really.
There maybe a couple of times, but it's like very rare that we do, especially now that we've gotten an amazing thing going. But I think like towards the beginning we kind of had our doubts about some things, but as a show as a whole, no.
But it's kind of, as far as like doubting ourselves, I mean, of course, you know, and this goes with like, you know, just, you know, just generally speaking for all humans. I mean, we all go through periods where, you know, we may doubt ourselves on certain things and think, you know, are we good enough for this? But not anything like super serious, I don't think. I can't recall anything.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, we just keep on growing, you know.
But yeah, to answer your other question there, Eric, it definitely helps to have a group.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even have to be co-hosts. Like at least have like some staff. Like maybe like a manager, or production wise, and maybe a separate editor. Unless you're comfortable with editing yourself, then I mean, go for it. But I definitely think it definitely helps to have a group. I definitely think so. So
yeah, except I feel like if there's a podcast, you know, you have like a group instead of just doing a podcast just for yourself. I feel like it's more motivation to podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely a lot more motivation,
obvious, right?
Because even if you're the only, because even if it's a podcast where it's you and just you as the host, and even if you know how to do all these things by yourself, if you do, you'll just stress yourself out and overwhelm yourself.
Absolutely. I definitely agree on that.
I'm glad, you know, we have this, you know, team, you know, to keep on going and going and going and going, you know.
Yeah.
Eric's second question: have you ever had interviews at odd hours due to accommodating international time zones for guests? Yes, we have.
Absolutely.
Most guests, in terms of this, most guests in terms of international, most of our guests are in the UK, which is I think like 5 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, like for example, you know, Dave Thompson, Nikki Smedley.
Dave Thompson, Nikki Smedley, Ronnie LaDrew, who's another amazing guest, one of my favorites.
And of course, two in Australia, Philip Rocher and Murray Cook, of course.
Yeah. But yes, so for the UK ones, we've had to do some of them like in the morning Eastern time, because of the time zone difference.
Right. Exactly. It's not. I remember we did it with the Nikki and Dave. It was kind of like
Nikki Smedley. I remember we had to do
like 11
o'clock in the morning. We did that.
Yeah, the ones in the US too. Josh Martin was at 10.
I was about to say that. So I was thinking,
wow, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Had to get up and
Rick Fernandez. Because I had already been awake for a couple minutes, but I completely forgot, and so I almost forgot about the interview. But I made it.
You made it
on time.
Yeah, somehow you did. Rick Fernandez was at 8 o'clock at night.
I think was it 8 o'clock when we did it Burke Hall? Was it 7?
I think that was at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
I think in my opinion
that one was at 7 o'clock, which was fine. You know, at least we're all on the same time zone, so it worked out for us.
Yes.
But to answer your question, yes. Eric's third and final question. I'm getting
after all the questions from Puppet Highway,
and I think that's it for YouTube questions, isn't it?
This is the last one for YouTube as well. Yes.
Okay.
Could you share the best feedback you've received from guests from being on your show?
I think that's great for the. I think that's a great question to end on the YouTube.
Three
questions.
Three come to mind right away. Jennifer Barnhart, Allison Bartlett, and Leslie Carrera.
That's exactly the thing I was gonna think of too. Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Allison Bartlett. That
Oh yeah, Bruce. No, Pam.
Bruce too. Bruce too. Pam. Yep. I'm gonna start with Allison Bartlett. That one, I'm gonna share about that one because it's long past now. The time we recorded it.
Carmen Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you can go with Sam.
Allison Bartlett's was really, really interesting to film based on the circumstances. because given behind the scenes of that, we recorded that episode the day after Bob McGrath passed away. That was really tough on rough on all of us.
I don't know how
Us
we're
too.
still able to do that. But
I mean, I was
I'm gonna be honest,
expecting Allison to get back to me asking to postpone, but no, she still wanted
that.
to.
And
that was really special.
That is exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, there's no way. Like this was such a huge loss for the Sesame family, especially not just for us fans, but for the Sesame family in particular.
Especially who worked with him.
People worked with him
particularly
for years.
For all the human cast, because they obviously worked very closely
Allison.
with Bob.
But
Allison saw him as a mentor.
But she still was up for doing it that night.
Like
we did. And it's one of the most heartwarming episodes. It is as of recording. I believe
I still remember like when we asked her usual last question. I remember like her answers like saying something, and then you sing nostalgia, and you guys bring nostalgia. Oh my gosh,
that's so good.
Yeah, it's going to show them everything what we're doing. And the production and episodes and everything, it's just But anyway, get back to that question.
That was really special because it was the first time we had received something like that from a guest. Minus Philip Welcher, who comments on a lot of the episodes, as most of you see. But in terms of like actual recordings, Allison was the first one, and it just meant a lot to us. It really did. Again, that was, I'm not gonna lie, that was tough to film. The interview itself was amazing.
Yeah, but
a day
after Bob McGrath.
But again, exactly.
And we're still able to do it,
Yeah, given especially the circumstances.
Like especially when we asked a question about Bob McGrath, what was your fondest memories working with him? We were like, we just all got emotional because we knew that, especially Bob meant so much in so many people's lives.
It was tough asking that question. It really was.
Yeah, but in Bob McGrath and Emilio Delgado, you're still with us. You'll never be
still with us in our hearts. Who else was? Jennifer Barnhart gave us some really, really great feedback. She loved our show, not just as a guest, but as somebody who listens to our show, which is
because keep in mind, folks, if you guys didn't know, probably to the people who have seen the episode probably already know, but I'll just say it anyway.
If you've seen the episode,
But she told us that she actually watched some of our episodes before doing our interview with her.
She did.
Annie Evans and Christopher Norman Stiles.
Christopher Norman Stiles, a couple other ones I can't remember, but that was very cool. Leslie got me particularly emotional because that was my 100th episode with the show.
Yep.
And she kind of talked about the friendship that we've had. It meant a lot hearing that from somebody who we really grew up with. I mean, Abby Cadabby's been on Sesame Street since 2006.
Yes,
we grew up watching Abby on Sesame Street. And
17 years.
Yeah,
17 years. This
17 years.
That is crazy, but I'm feeling old just thinking about it.
Makes me feel so old because I know I've talked about this so many times before. I remember getting the Abby doll at Toys R Us the year Abby Cadabby was introduced. So I
think that was the exact same one that Leslie has, right?
Yep.
Yes, it was, which was mind blowing. Who else? I know there's probably more. Ed May, I believe, did as well. Recent guest, very recent guest.
Right.
I think that's everybody. I think Phil Welcher writes a lot of wonderful comments on our episodes too.
A lot of inspiring
Yes,
A lot of
thank you.
inspiring guests.
Yeah,
I
thank you
can
very much, Philip.
I can think of one because I know we need to get to the Discord
Yes.
questions and everything. But one in particular that comes to mind was when he interviewed Francois Clemens, and
yes.
Francois.
Philip
Yes.
commented about how Francois's voice kind of brought him to tears almost because of just how inspiring of a human being he is, and Francois really is.
You
He
know,
really is.
Just a down to earth, one of the nicest people we've ever come
oh,
across.
absolutely.
Just thinking of that, I still haven't.
Love you, Francois.
I still,
you're amazing.
Yes, I still haven't forgotten about that TV show idea he gave us. Diva
Oh,
Man's
that's
Neighborhood.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
Diva Man's Neighborhood. We're still up for that, by the way. I'm telling you, I want that to be a thing so bad. I want to create that so bad.
We'll move down. We'll move down to Pittsburgh
We'll move to Pittsburgh to make it. Yeah, absolutely. We'll so WQED, expect an email from us like next couple years. Yes, thank you to all the YouTube people who give us questions. We're gonna move over to Discord now. I'm gonna skip one of them because I'm gonna skip one of them because we entered it already.
Yes.
First Discord one is from Jessica. Jessica asks, "What is it like chatting with famous people?" Absolutely insane.
I mean, it's obvious. It's
insane, but wonderful.
But it's wonderful, that the fact that they take time out of their busy schedules to chat with us. It means a lot. It means a lot. It really does. This next one might get emotional too. Next one is from Elijah, the retro gamer, who asks, were there times during episodes where you try not to get emotional because you're talking to someone who you idolize?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
and
all the time.
And off camera you just burst down emotionally. Absolutely. I did with Carmen. I will say I did that with Carmen. Leslie, Pam. We've done that with a lot of people. Pam, yeah, so many people. Yes. Pretty much all the time. Pretty much.
Not all the time. Just every single episode, yeah.
some more than others. Some more than others.
Right.
This one comes from our good friend Alex Arrigo.
Yes.
It also comes from at Rod Hanger Malley on Instagram, both of which asked, "Who is your dream guest you would love to have on your podcast?" As I said earlier, Peter Linz would be a great guest.
Gonna say, I say answer, but I'll say it again.
Linz,
no,
Peter,
Josh Dela Cruz, Bob West,
Josh Dela Cruz, Bob West. Yeah, we kind of entered that over.
I was happy that they would get.
Who else? It was Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings. Yes.
Of course. Brett Iwan.
Brett
great
Iwan
one.
would be great.
The current voice of Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah, and
So there'd be a lot of there's a lot of them.
Oh yeah, as well as
Matt Vogel would be another good one.
Oh yeah, same as the other. Oh yeah, and Caitlin Wabrock.
Yes, who took over Minnie Mouse from the late Russi Taylor.
Oh yeah, she would be really cool. Yes.
Or there some other Winnie the Pooh people or something.
Great question. Great question.
I think we got one more from Discord. That's it for Discord.
But thanks to all those who asked that question.
And now, since we're close to kind of wrapping up, I guess we'll just do our social media ones.
Yes. Instagram. Our Instagram post. First one comes from Tori Jane Benson.
Yes,
this first one,
another loyal supporter of our podcast.
Another loyal supporter. First one is for Chris and I. How did you two become co-hosts? Well, we pretty much answered mine earlier, but I don't think people really know about Chris's.
Again, well, like I said, I had experience, but why I wanted to join Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Originally, that was my idea. Originally, I was just going to help out behind the scenes. The reason why I ended up asking Jake if I could be a co-host because I saw that he was kind of struggling with assembling a team. So I was like, you know what? Jake's a good friend of mine. Maybe I'll help him out.
to happen, you know.
Yes.
And you already know about mine, to be right.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone, just go back.
And we were struggling a bit with finding our first guest.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, yeah.
But
I
think Jake had already been in touch with Bruce Lanoil for a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then we ended up having him as our first guest. So
and then he just returned recently.
Yes. Love you,
Bruce. You already know about mine. Go back earlier. Second question from Tori Benson, and it also comes from Christopher Kruger as well for all three. What is your most favorite thing about Jake's Happiness Show?
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Meeting our newfound friends.
Yes, meeting our newfound friends. Yes, pretty much. Yep.
Really.
And behind the scenes, and behind the scenes is kind of fun too. Like we mentioned,
scheduling's really fun for me. I love scheduling.
Scheduling's fun too.
It gets challenging, but it is really fun because it gives you the feeling of accomplishment.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, great questions there, Tori. This next one is from Shasia Adriana, who asks, do you sometimes have to contact some of the guest agents first for permission to get them on your podcast? In some cases,
some of them,
it's 50-50 kind of. Lately it's been 50-50.
Not everybody. Not everybody. But for some of the guests, yes. But only some of them, not everybody. But some of them, yes.
Right. Yes. Some of them who either don't really use social media or don't have social media at all, sometimes will go through agents. And sometimes if they do have social media, we'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
some people we contact directly.
Some of them, not all of them, obviously.
Some of the recent ones that we haven't done yet have been done directly.
Directly.
Yes.
Yes. So for some of them, yes. But again, recently it's just been kind of a 50-50.
Yeah.
Next one is from @typical_stay.
Hey Noah, and that's his name.
Nice. Who inspired you to want to use puppets? Who inspired you to want to use puppets? And who is your favorite?
Honestly, this is more to my question because you put besides Bean.
And who is your favorite puppet besides Bean?
It's kind of an easy question for me because
I'm kind of biased.
Yeah, we're all kind of biased.
I'm like that too.
Kind of biased. Puppet Chris, I've had him since 2011, so I gotta say Puppet Chris.
Marty, for me, since I have multiple, I think I answered this about a year ago on
and he's the only
show.
The only puppet I use for interviews is Puppet Chris.
Marty Monster is my favorite only because I've had him longer and it feels like a lot of people absolutely love Marty. As they should. But no, people have loved Marty. People have loved Julius too. But this is the little monster that really started my career. Shucks.
Exactly, and everyone loves monster puppets. We all grew up watching monsters on TV.
Monsters on Sesame Street.
Now Matt has one of his very own.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes, and
yep.
But yeah, who inspired you to want to use puppets? For me, of course, you guys probably, Sesame, because of us, watching Sesame Street, Bear, Between the Lines, and,
that kind of thing, yeah.
No, but
yes.
Now I'm kind of curious, like, if I want to ask this, like, now I feel like some people might like want to know about, but which like puppet that do you want, like, that you wish like had your hand on?
Oh, that's
in terms of like Sesame or Muppet show.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
I would.
I can't even choose.
I can't choose. But if I had to, I would love to write. I would love to write hand Rosita. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Really right hand any monster.
In terms of right handing, in terms of right handing, I think Cookie Monster would be my pick.
Yeah.
As far as like as far as doubling or anything like that, probably
Oh, double. Oh, that's
probably like Bert or Grover or something. I don't know.
Or Ernie, yeah.
Yeah.
Ernie. I don't. In terms of doubling, I don't know. That's tough. There's a lot of great ones I'd want to double for.
I chose Grover and Bert because I know with group scenes they're usually put together a lot.
Yeah.
Probably either like Grover or Bert or
yeah. Next one is an interesting one. Comes from @BrightShanai. I've seen you've had Michael Brandon on your show, but I'm curious, who is your favorite Thomas and Friends character? It has been quite a while since I've seen Thomas and Friends. I'm not gonna lie,
but for me,
it's been a while.
Of course, Thomas, Percy.
Percy.
I think my
Percy
favorite as a kid and probably to this day is probably Percy.
Percy. Yep. Good question. I mean, we're glad you enjoyed Michael Brandon.
Percy was probably the character that I had the most Thomas stuff of, I feel.
Yeah. I used to have like those like those wooden train tracks.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
those wooden. I used to have those.
I always loved having the Trackmaster. I think
same here.
Oh, yeah,
I have them in this room. I just gotta figure out where.
I don't think I have it anymore, and I wish I did. This one I feel would mostly be for you, Chris. This is from the EE Archives.
That's a first.
What do you guys use to edit? What do you guys use to edit the thumbnails? And this could also be said for graphics too.
GIMP.
You use GIMP. I, for the graphics, use Paint.net. I love using Paint.net. It's a free software and it's great.
I use Paint.net as well, mostly whenever GIMP's not working, but usually that's not the case. Usually I'm able to use GIMP.
Last one from our Instagram post is from our buddy @JosephCEC.
Yes,
good buddy Joseph. This is a really interesting question. If you had to, Joseph asks, if you had to reboot the Muppet Show, who would be your dream guest stars, and how would things be different or stay the same?
Oh my god!
Well, wow.
This is an awesome question.
I'll kind of go backwards a little bit on your question. How well? Obviously, I mean, I would love with the Muppet Show. Obviously, you want to have like the same kind of classic characters. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
New characters since then have come on, like Walter and recently Penny Waxman. And like Dr. T's parents, Baby Animal, a whole bunch of watch the Muppets Mayhem, and you know who we're talking about.
Yes. Penny Waxman would
just do it. Just watch it.
Please watch it. It's amazing.
Because you know how they have like Pigs in Space and Bunsen and Muppet Labs and how they have all those recurring sketches. I would love to see one with Dr. Teeth and Penny Waxman.
Yes, that would be awesome.
That would be great. And then what were the other parts of that question?
If you had to reboot the Muppet Show, who would be your dream guest stars, and how would things be different or stay the same? Dream guest stars, I don't really have that much, honestly. Patti LaBelle would be really cool.
Oh yeah.
I think Patti LaBelle. I mean, Gus. Oh, Michelle Obama would be great. If you folks remember Andy Hayward's episode, that was really fun talking about Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Waffles and Mochi on Netflix.
Yes, for me, one of my
Wine Seacrest.
For me, one of my favorite artists as a kid was Bruno Mars.
Bruno
Mars would be a cool one.
Same here.
Or somehow like Elton John.
Or the Jonas Brothers.
Paul
they were
McCartney.
also.
Oh yeah, Jonas Brothers. Jonas Brothers would be cool because they did Studio DC Almost Live, right?
Yes, they did Studio DC Almost Live, and then they did the Not Too Late Show with Elmo, where they sang the Brushy Brush song.
I love that episode.
Or Taylor Swift, and I think Alex, you know I'm going to say Ariana Grande.
Of course, you'd say Ariana Grande. Of course you would. In terms of how things would be different or stay the same, in terms of how they would stay the same for me, I think would be just the format. The format of the show. Like, don't change anything about the format because that's the only thing that would stay the same.
Yeah.
In terms of being different, like Chris said, add new characters like Walter, Penny Waxman. Maybe
so
maybe Dr. T's
some
parents
new
could
ones
be
down the line,
could be like background characters or something.
As far as things
Um,
that might be best if they were changed, I think some of the jokes in the original Muppet Show
Yeah.
wouldn't really work nowadays. So things like that would
No.
have to be changed. But honestly, for the most part, nothing. I mean, the Muppet Show was such an iconic show for a lot of people, and I think
Yeah.
they still
I
do, of
agree.
course.
in a
Still
way, I
do.
don't even know if a reboot of the Muppet Show would be a good thing in a small way because, again, it was such an
Yeah.
iconic show. That's
Yeah, I agree.
that's like if they were to fully reboot like Bear or Between the Lions or any of those shows.
Yeah,
Like it would be
Yeah.
it would be cool. It would be
It'd be
fun,
cool.
obviously. I
It'd
mean,
be interesting to
Mhm.
see, but like
they were such iconic
would
shows,
it,
and especially they ran for many years.
yeah, Between the Lions was on for 10 years.
For 10 years, a
Muppet Show on
decade.
for 5. It was on in like over 100 countries by like its third year, which is nuts. Bear was on TV for almost a decade.
Yeah.
And now available for a new generation on Disney Plus. So a new Bear might not even be
That's
needed
amazing.
because it's already streaming on Disney Plus. Yeah,
Okay.
great, fantastic question.
Great question. Thank you,
Just
Joseph.
just
you,
a couple
brother.
more, just 3 more from my side. I know Jake's you've got a few more.
Yes.
Gonna move to Facebook now. We only have one from Facebook. This is from our good buddy Gary Roof Jr., good friend of ours.
Yes. Hi, Gary.
Yes.
Well, hi Gary.
Hey, Gary.
How did you all meet each other? Jake and Chris met first.
Yes, we've known each other since I think 2018, like late
2018.
Like late 2018.
Yeah, it was very late
early
2018 because Jake was he was a fan of like all of the Roblox tributes and stuff, and he would
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I remember first, because I went to the first show back in 2018 of that
I
side.
became friends with Jakey through people that I don't necessarily associate with anymore. I'll leave it at that. But
Right.
but I met Jake and his twin brother Drew.
Drew, yes.
Yes. I met them. And again, Jake was still, a fan of our stuff. And then in 2020 was when we first hired him into everything in the Robloxing Wiggles, my group, the Wiggly Robloxings, and so on.
Yeah, and then Blacks and Wiggles and
yeah,
a lot more stuff. Yeah.
So that's how me and Jake met, and then Jake and Matt knew each other before me and Matt knew each other.
We've been friends now for just over
for almost 3 years. Yeah,
3 years.
So, because I'm thinking like in October of 2020.
I thought it was like July of 2020. I thought.
I don't know why.
It was sometime in 2020.
I probably might have been like
it was
March,
like June,
March or April of 2020. Yeah.
Really, March or April? I thought it was like later than that. It was like June,
for no reason. I was
sometime in 2020, and then
I think it might be like late of 2020. I don't know.
Like I think mid 2020. I think something like that.
Well,
and then Jake had me meet Chris, and I think it was November.
Boom! There we go.
November of 2021, I think it was. Yeah. And then that's how we all met. There's the story right there.
Thank you, Gary. Seeing Matt for the first time with Marty Monster was kind of what got me back into puppetry in a sense.
Yeah, and it's kind of same thing with me.
So I'd always been a fan of everything, of course, but for a while it was what I was doing with the Roblox community kind of overshadowed everything for a long time. So
and it's kind of like that with me because you just got me introduced to this amazing community that we're a part of now, and it's just
last one from my side of things from @JacobCode. Which guest did you initially think was impossible or least likely to feature? That's a really good
Ryan
question.
Dillon was one.
Ryan Dillon.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Ryan Dillon. I honestly think so.
Because we got him. It's just what?
Yeah, the way we got him was insane.
Murray, surprisingly, I didn't really find to be too impossible because Murray's people had been, I'd reach out to them very early on in the podcast, and they asked me to send links. And of course, I couldn't really send them too much because we were kind of just starting out, but
sort of.
And I hadn't heard from them in a while, so I guess like a year later, I reached out again.
Like finally a follow up, yeah.
Yeah, now we had gotten a little bit of traction.
Yes.
I don't really know.
Ryan, yeah, I'd say Ryan.
Ryan definitely.
Probably.
I think if we had to choose one that would be like kind of least likely, but before we got him on, would definitely be Ryan Dillon. And Ryan was amazing.
But we haven't, as far as like reaching out to people and being surprised that they would want, nothing really comes to mind as far as like surprising, honestly, because the people that we reach out to, we usually kind of have it in our brains that it's a possibility that we might get them.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like a, oh my god, we actually got him. That's insane. Yeah. It's more of that kind of thing. It's crazy the people we've gotten in 2 years. Like people I've dreamed of meeting, like Stephanie DeBruzzo and Ryan Dillon, all these people. It's mind blowing. But to answer your question, the one, if we had to choose one guest that we initially thought was going to be least likely to have on, was Ryan Dillon.
Yeah, because he doesn't really use social media, and we weren't able to find like agents or anything like that for him.
No.
And we won't go into specifically how we got him because we don't do that.
And plus you figure it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that up to you to figure that out.
No, I mean, and Ryan too was great fun.
Great. It was one of my favorite guests of last year. Jakey, I'm gonna turn things over to you because I know you've got a few more questions yourself from your side.
And then that's it, because I don't think I got any questions on my side personally, because I didn't. I think that's kind of my fault because I didn't really give people too much of an option. I mean, I can check my social media quickly, but I don't think I
didn't get very much.
Even you'll do that. I'll just few more questions.
If you didn't, it's okay. But Jakey, I'm gonna give the floor to you for this. Because I know you've got some questions that people sent you too.
From Christopher, another question. Another Grucher twins. What inspired you to meet such celebrities and puppeteers during this podcast show? Well, it's obvious because it's just for what they've done. Really. I mean, like for what the work that they have been done, especially how much it means so much to us. That's kind of like the purpose why we message or want to get those people on. It's
and really it's just reaching out. You don't get anywhere if you don't contact people. So at least make the effort to reach out to people.
Find agents.
Find agents. Find social medias, especially agents as a backup.
Mm-hmm. Emails help sometimes too.
Emails helps sometimes as well.
Websites. Those are the main things. If they have a website and they either have like a contact form or
like email,
phone number for agents or whatever, that's when we reach out to people, that's kind of the way I prefer doing it.
So on my side, we have one more question. I'm thinking it's probably a great question to end this Q&A.
I would hope so.
Oh my god,
it's a great question.
Yes, indeed. So of course, Tori Benson, did some questions from other side, and now on Instagram, my side, and I'm thinking, I think it's a perfect question to end up this Q&A, because I'm thinking people are kind of wondering about this too. Previous guests, can't probably ask us to, but this is what Tori said. She said, usually ask this to the guests at the end of your show, but now I want to ask all of you this.
I was just thinking about this too.
I was honestly thinking if nobody asked this question, one of us is gonna have to ask it.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
we're just gonna ask it anyway. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or in your own words, how do you define the word nostalgia? Jakey, you're the host of this show. You start.
We'll go in order here.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. All right, Jake, you started off. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or how would you define nostalgia?
Oh my gosh, it's like I know a lot of people I know a lot of previous guys said that, but my honesty, for me, oh my gosh, my childhood is one of the best parts when you think of looking back, oh my gosh, I did that, or especially me watching so many shows growing up from Playhouse Disney, Nick Jr., Pierce Kid Sprout, Nick Jr., Playhouse Disney, and Sprout, blah blah, and Disney Jr. as well. But it's just it was that point where I was feeling that's me, that I want to be in that moment, enjoy, and that's how I was when I was a child, for me, just looking at the screen and just watch it. For example, what happens, it happens most of the time when I was watching shows growing up with all those channel stations, and it's, for me, I'm glad that I'm one of those people. Okay, I don't want to make it a long answer, but it's there's people who's born in 2004 don't know what some of these shows are, especially the shows that are in 90s, early 2000s, which I can understand. But for me, I was, I'm a 2000s kid, but for me, I'm into 90s and those type of shows too, and I feel there's something special about me that I'm I want to know more about this point of those type of shows like that, not just focus on my generation. I want to think about the other, and it's so amazing what I was like, and I'm glad I am being like that, because it's, and plus, me, the more shows you watch growing up, the more memories that you can think, and then you keep on talking and talking and talking, because especially how many shows I've been watching growing up, like, been a part of my life that I'm still talking about to this day, especially for this show.
Yeah, definitely. For me,
okay, what do you think of nostalgia? What do you think of nostalgia? Now you said that question to me. Now I have to do that to you, Chris.
For me, I would say the cool thing about nostalgia is at the beginning of each year to the end of each year, there's a whole year worth of things that are turned into nostalgia to look back on the next year. So it's kind of like the continuation of things from, looking back on things from the past, everything that's happened to us this year, we'll have next year to look back on that, and so on. So that's what I think about nostalgia, is the fact that the start of each year,
kind of start with the tradition.
Yeah, exactly.
And shape or form. Yeah,
exactly. And lastly, to Matt,
I feel like I've answered
so
this.
You think of nostalgia?
I feel like I answered this on my episode, but
whatever. Say that.
I don't
say it again.
It's a different answer now than then. When I think of nostalgia, I think of a scrapbook in my head. It just, like TV shows and movies, it just brings back so many memories. Like watching Sesame Street and The Wiggles and all these shows and movies that I grew up with.
Bear.
And then you look back on it, and exactly, and then you look back on it, you're like, and then you remember, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this, or I remember watching that when I was a kid, or I remember this particular character that meant so much to me as a kid, most likely as much as it does now. So that's what I think of when I think of nostalgia, like a scrapbook in your head. And with that, that's it. That's our Q&A.
Yes, thank you everyone.
Thank you to everybody who sent in questions.
Discord, YouTube, thank you.
Discord,
all
social medias, YouTube.
Discord, social media,
questions, and I'm glad
all of you
answered all.
Amazing questions. Amazing questions.
And
thank you.
And to those who were like, oh yeah, I've got my question. Well, the reason why we don't do that is because there are some questions that's already been answered.
That multiple people ask.
Yeah, we just combine them into one.
We answer your question, even though in a sense, that question got from another person. But no worries, we didn't miss a question or anything.
We just combine them into one. So because multiple people ask the same question, like who's your favorite guest, all that.
I mean, I
dream
guest.
That's
going to happen with this, so that doesn't surprise me.
It's fine, but also thank you for your continued support the last 2 years. It's been
so amazing,
mind blowing. It's insane, but thank you all so much.
I'm glad we were doing this Q&A again, and
this was fun. This was very fun. I didn't get to do the last one. I didn't get to do the last one because I wasn't a part of the show yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad that was like just before me.
Doing it now,
and it was really cool. I hope we get to do another one. And in terms of YouTube,
or we might do more YouTube exclusive.
I was about to say there will probably be more YouTube exclusives coming.
Just three of us, chatting about things.
Maybe
we'll see what happens.
Or maybe doing something special.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Might be seeing some special stuff coming from us in the near future. But again, thank you for your continued support. Thank you to everybody who sent questions. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun.
Yes.
And
I know it's going to take a while. And to those who didn't submit your question, you had to wait until. Unless if you
we could probably do, we might do another one down the line.
If there's like a question like in the comments in this video, we can.
Oh yeah. If you have questions in the comments, if you have any other additional questions in the comments, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to answer them.
Reply, but
for me, Matt Bingel, Chris Bixby, Jake Deffinbaugh, our staff, our manager Kieran, and buddy DJ Bob. Thank you, Kieran Devlin. Yes. DJ Bob, everybody, thank you. Jake, close us out. What do we say at the end?
Keep nostalgia alive. And no worries, that didn't happen this time.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Imagine it legit happened. That'd be so funny. But
yes,
you probably would have done that.
Yes, what Jake said, keep nostalgia alive. Thanks for submitting your questions. And
thank you.
And can't wait for next 2 years and on for this future of the show.
We've got more YouTube exclusives coming too.
And everything.
Yes. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you for watching this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show YouTube exclusive. Like and subscribe for more, and ring the bell, that way you don't miss a single notification. We air brand new episodes twice a week, so don't miss it. Also be sure to follow Jake and the crew for more fun. Keep nostalgia alive, and thanks for joining us.